So the Sanders campaign is pushing a last-minute corruption scandal. On the one hand, this is a safe tactic because almost nobody supporting Sanders is going to care one way or another. On the other hand, it's gutter politics because it isn't designed to win votes so much as it's designed to suppress turnout. See, the thing is, that's what he needs right now. He's not going to swing these wealthy New York minorities that came to America to break it big and don't want to pay taxes to fund health care for poor people. But he could conceivably discuss them enough that they get disinterested and apathetic. Hey, if you want to play the game, you want to play it to win, right? And he's literally got millions of people that can't vote for him. I'm more inclined to suggest it's too little too late, but also that it's a valid tactic going into Pennsylvania. But it's another implication that Sanders doesn't plan to concede anytime soon. It's I think that this sort of tactic is a consequence of the system that was set up. And that if you don't like this tactic, you should change the system. If anything, Sanders should be applauded for his restraint in not going after her a lot more strongly than he has. It's a situation where there's not really anything Sanders can do to sway voters. The only way that Sanders can win in New York is if he depresses turnout, which has ironically been mostly the game that Clinton's been playing. And I mean, don't fool yourself. If the Clinton campaign can do anything to prevent Bernie voters from getting to the polls, it will. If voter deregistration, running out of ballots, all that kind of stuff, anywhere that they think Bernie might win, you can expect that there will be suppression tactics, as there have been just about everywhere else. So it's I think that Sanders is kind of being held to a higher standard, and that it's not really fair to hold him to this high standard and be like, you can't do this, you can't do that, while Clinton is, breaking every rule in the book kind of thing. But he seems to be tying his own hands. I think he should have done this a lot earlier, because it's the only way. It's the only tactic he has in New York. Because, like I say, he's not like there's not a way he's gonna get those people to vote for him. The best he could do is to just make them really disgusted in what Clinton has turned. And I want to be clear when I say this, because this is actually the truth, in what Clinton has turned the Democratic Party into. Maybe not Clinton herself precisely, but the Clinton dynasty. Everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party is a consequence of the Clinton dynasty. When people look back 100 years from now, Obama is going to be this kind of, I mean, can you provide me with any particular policy proposal that you can tie to Obama that doesn't have a strong precursor in the Clinton administration, or will not be followed through with in what is seemingly an inevitable Clinton presidency? Where does, this period is going to be remembered as the period where the Clinton family dominated the Democratic Party, for better and for worse. And for everything that you can think of that you don't like about the Democrats, ultimately goes back to something that happened in the first Clinton administration, or something that's happened since then, with the approval or direction of the Clinton dynasty. So that's really the only tactic with these particular types of voters. A lot of them are going to be older. They're going to have been voting Democrat for a long time, the only way that you're gonna the only thing you can do is you can try to convince them that the Democratic Party of Hillary Clinton is not the Democratic Party of JFK or Walter Mondale or whoever it was that brought you into the party in the first place, right? So this is the right thing to do. It's the right approach, and he really should have been doing this a lot harder, a lot earlier. Anybody criticizing him for it doesn't have a leg to stand on, and really should be more or less ignored. Because, like I say, anything that she can possibly do to suppress Sanders' voters' turnout, she will do. There's no question. And on top of that, he's also going to need to carry that on moving into the next set of primaries, because they're also closed primaries. And anybody that doesn't like this, anybody that thinks this damages the front runner or whatever else, needs to take a look at analyzing the system and opening it up a little bit to allow candidates to bring people in. Because when you set a system up like this, and you set a system up so that this is the only tactic, you shouldn't be surprised when people use it. What you should be surprised at is how timid Bernie Sanders has been in his attack on Hillary Clinton.